We move on to number 11, Megalomania. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a fantasy-themed, what'd you call it? Trick-taking card game. It is a competitive trick-taking card game. But I'll be honest, folks, I would be willing to bet the developers of this probably took some inspiration from the developers of, what's it called? Cannot think of the word, The Crew. Because it's not as simple as, oh, look, I've got my hand of cards, I just want to win as many tricks as I can and all the rest of it. Every round, and you play through multiple rounds where everybody gets a certain number of cards in their hand, and you're going to do trick taking. Lead cards, trump suits, and whoever plays the highest of the lead. If you can't follow, you have to play something else. That means you're going to lose. All the normal trick taking card stuff is here. And the trick is, at the beginning of every round, everybody gets a certain number of cards, and a mission, a quest is drawn from the deck that says, oh, to win this quest, you have to win an even number of tricks. Or you have to win tricks only with blue cards. Or you have to lose every trick. Or you have to lose more than you win. Or you have to lose an odd number of times, or whatever it might be. And everybody sees that and is like, oh, okay. And so, the puzzly nature of, well, what am I going to do? I look at my hand of cards, I think, wow, I've got a strong hand of cards, I'm probably going to win a lot. If I need to win exactly an even number of times, and there's going to be 5 rounds, I need to win either 2 or 4 of these. Can I pull that off? So this extra level of complexity really elevates it. And this is the same kind of thing you see for the missions in The Crew. But this game goes much deeper than The Crew, because after you see the mission, after you see your cards, everybody at the start of the round makes a choice. Would you like to get 2 crystals, which activate special powers on your cards? So when you play a card, if you use a crystal and you're like, oh, I'm going to lose this trick, you could, but I played the card that says, oh, low number wins now, I could suddenly win the trick, but I have to use up those precious crystals to activate the special powers of these cards. Or you can get a bunch of these black cubes, which are a resource that lets you change the value of a card. So you have a bunch of these, you're like, oh, you played a 6, I have to follow with a 4, I'm going to lose. Okay, I'll follow, and I'll put 3 of my little cubes on, turning my 4 into a 7, I win. But then the player next to me, oh, you've still got some cubes too. Are you going to be able to beat me? Should I save my cubes for later? So, and then there's a third type of resource you can get, and you get to choose. Do I want the crystals? Do I want the cubes? Or do I want these scrolls? And these scrolls are super powerful things that in various and sundry ways pretty much let you win whenever you want, or lose whenever you want. And so you've got to make a choice of what combination of these things do I want, based on my hand, based on the mission that tells me how many times I need to win or lose over the next 5 or 8 or whatever rounds it is. And it's really clever. I thought it was very, very sharp, very well done. And if you like trick taking, but you want something more, if you like The Crew and you wish, boy, I love the idea of The Crew, but why isn't it competitive? That's what Megalomania gives you, a competitive trick taker with a lot of really interesting decisions because of all the special powers that the cards have, but only if you can pay for them, or the ability to manipulate the cards as you go, always trying to hit the current mission. It was very, very sharp. Why doesn't it come in higher? I mean, it's not the gameplay. The design is great. But playing this game made me realize I am only interested in playing cooperative trick takers, because this is especially as a 2-player game, a very cutthroat game where you're constantly, just every step of the way, every thought is bent towards, right, how can I trick you? How can I outwit you so that you win and I lose, or I win and you lose, or whatever it is I'm trying to do? And Jen and I found we just didn't like doing that to each other. We like either working together or building our own things without hurting each other. This game is a constant, non-stop attack as you're constantly trying to outwit your opponents, and the game gives you so many tools to do it. I'm really impressed by it. If you wanted The Crew to be competitive, you owe it to yourself to check out number 11, Megalomania.